Hi YouTube, you ready to get a little bit crazy up in here? It's time to freak out about some books. Welcome to Stagey Bookish. That's right, welcome to Stagey Bookish. It is time for the mid-year book freak out tag. I've done this for 2 years now over on my blog, which is www.stageybookish if you want to go and say hi, and I've loved doing it. It really gives me a chance to kind of see and keep track of all the reading that I've done so far this year and the goals that I still have to go. So now we are all friends here in the lovely BookTube community. I thought I would share with you, even if it is a little bit past mid-year, my 2019 mid-year book freak-out tag. You ready? Let's get into it. Okay, as per usual, we're going to start off with probably the hardest question. What is the best book you have read in 2019 so far? And I sat and I tried to condense it down to one, and I couldn't. So I've got a few for you, and if you haven't read any of these, I really encourage you to pick these up. My favourite so far, Children of Blood and Bone, I read in, God, I think it was January, until still to this day in early August. It is my favourite book, one of my favourite books of the year so far. Please pick it up if you haven't. Maureen Johnson's Truly Devious. Amazing. Need to pick up the second book, The Vanishing Stair, because the third book's out in 2020. Bridget Camara's A Curse So Dark and Lonely. I love Disney. I love retellings. That was just absolute perfection. What If It's Us by Adam Silvera and Becky Albertelli, because no one's cute and they love musicals. Oh, it's precious. And on a completely different flip, Nevernight by Jay Kristoff, which is a book I would never have picked up in my entire life, but one listen to the first chapter of the audiobook, and if you've read Nevernight, you'll know what the first line is, made me prick my ears up like I was, ready to go on a hunt for something. But yeah, Nevernight by Jay Kristoff, one of my biggest surprises, but one of my favourites as well. So that was good. Following up with that, we're going into best sequel that I read in 2019. And as I've just spoken about Nevernight, end of the day, Godsgrave, which was the second book in the Nevernight Chronicles, was just as good, if not superior to Nevernight. If you've read Godsgrave, you will understand this. When a book can grab your attention so much on its very last word, you know it's got to be damn good. If you know, you know. If you've read Godsgrave, you will know exactly what I mean. But when I'm finishing reading it at 1 a.m. in the morning and my house is full, 1 a.m. in the morning, I read the last word and go, what? You know it's good. You know it's good. You know it's quality. And if you haven't read them, yes, it's gory, yes, it's explicit, yes, it's everything. Do yourself a favour, read the damn things, because you will be so captivated by them. It will be absolutely unreal. Okay? We're going to go on to question 3. A new release that you haven't read yet, but you want to. Oh, I've got a few. Spin the Dawn by Elizabeth Lim arrived on my doorstep recently. Wicked Fox by Kat Cho has arrived on my door recently. I can't remember the author, but he's got the most stunning cover. All the Bad Apples. Moira something Doyle? That was a pure cover buy. I shouldn't judge books by its cover, but I totally do. And probably Wilder Girls by Rory Powers waiting for me to pick up. That I'm sceptical of picking it up, but I kind of want to do, because it's a case of curiosity killed the cat, really. Because I'm hearing from people, you either love it or you hate it. And the people that loved it, excuse my language, have basically turned around and said, you will like Wilder Girls if you like some fucked up shit. I'm curious, but I was curious with Nevernight and that went really well. So fingers crossed that it will also go well when it comes to Wilder Girls. If we go on to question 4, most anticipated release for the second half of the year. I have literally glorified book 1 and 2 in previous questions. So my most anticipated release, September 5th, start of September, I'm sorry, Dark Dawn by Jay Kristoff, the finishing off of the Nevernight Chronicles. I am dying for that book. I am literally planning, I won't do this because I haven't got the balls, but I am literally planning to kind of duck out on my lunch break from work that day to go and get a copy. That is how desperate I am for Dark Dawn. I'm gonna literally get it, probably get home from work, and I'll stay up until it's read. That is how much I'm looking forward to that goddamn book. And actually, I converted one of my I converted one of my colleagues. I lent her Godsgrave to read, and I Sorry, I lent her Nevernight to read, and I just remember her leaving it on my desk when it was done because I hadn't seen it that day, and there was just a post-it on it saying, just finished it, and in the biggest letters she could get on this post-it, oh my god. And I was like, woohoo! Another one, but on the dark side. So she's now read Godsgrave, and we are both mutually anticipating Dark Dawn and all the gore and all the darkness and all the awesomeness that the Dark Lord J. Kristoff is ready to bring to us. We are so ready for Dark Dawn. Brink on the start of September. We carry on with question 5. What is the biggest disappointment of the year so far? Now, I don't like talking negatively about books. It's not that I think this book is a bad book. I think it's just that I couldn't really gel with it and gel with the story. I'm very much a person who needs to invest in the characters that she's reading about. I want to care. I either want to care because they need my support, or I want to care enough that they are so horrible I want to see them fall, if you get what I mean. And The Burning by Laura Bates was one where it was my first ever DNF, which happened at the start of the year, and it wasn't that it was a bad book, but it was very much that I couldn't vibe. I didn't feel connected enough to the characters in the story to actually care about what was going on, and that was unfortunate, because if you've read it, or if you don't know about it, or if you've read it, it is a very important subject matter for particularly teens today, which I know very well because I work in a library, and it's something that I think Laura Bates has done phenomenally to address. But for me, I just didn't vibe with it. Not saying it's a bad book, not saying it's awful, but for me, I didn't vibe with it, and I don't like saying that. It's just like, But yeah, The Burning by Laura Bates. Onwards, let's talk about happier things. Question 6, biggest surprise. It's not necessarily one book in particular, but I seem to have really started vibing with a new genre this year, and particularly into the summer months, and that is kind of chick lit, new adult kind of romance. I never saw myself as a romance reader, but apparently I have. From various booktubers that I love and adore, probably my 2 favourites have been The Flat Share by Beth O'Leary. Oh my god, so good. And The Unhoneymooners by Christina Lauren, which was quite interesting because the main character's name was Olive, which is really close to my name, so I had to keep double reading at some points, but they were just really good, laugh out loud, funny, romantic, just wonderful things. Particularly for The Flat Share, the audiobook, get the audiobook of The Flat Share. It's so good, and I absolutely flew. I think it's over 10 hours long, but I flew through it. But yes, both of those really good, warm, fuzzy feelings in the heart kind of thing. That's so good. That's so good and so good. And I've just noticed, going on to question 7, which is favourite new author, which is new to you or a debut author. This is another author that gave me all the fuzzy feels this year. For me, it is the wonderful Mackenzie Lee. I have recently discovered the world that is The Gentleman's Guide to Vice and Virtue, and Monty and Percy are the most precious things ever and must be protected at all times, as must Felicity and as must that whole crew. I loved them. I just thought, particularly Gentleman's Guide, could be a total film. I could see that as like a carry-on, old school, American viewers might not get it, a carry-on kind of UK carry-on films, old school romp through Europe, and I would be totally here for all of it. I've read The Gentleman's Guide, I read The Lady's Guide to Petticoats and Piracy, got it. And I've read some of her non-fiction stuff before, but she's got some releases coming out later in the year. She's done Loki, Where Mischief Lies. And I'm Marvel fangirl at heart. That makes my heart so damn happy. And she's also done The Gentleman's Guide to Getting Lucky, which is part of the Gentleman's World series, which is out late November. I'm so excited for those, but I'm probably as excited for those as excited in equal amount that I'm excited for Dark Dawn. That will show you where I'm at with that. I know she's currently written another one. Something Blooms hang on, I've got it written down. The Madness Blooms, which I know was scheduled for a 2020 release, but I think she's put it back to try and do some rewrites on it. But she now is one of my auto-buy authors. Her and J. Kristoff and Bridget Kemery, someone else I've come across this year. A Curse So Dark and Lovely is one of my all-time faves now, and she's just brilliant. So yes, Bridget, but Mackenzie Lee is your answer to that question. Do excuse me. At number 8, newest fictional crush. Now, BookTube, your girl's 34. She might be a bit old for fictional crushes, but I do kind of, I stand some fictional couples, which beautifully takes me into the next question, which is newest favourite character couples. 3 couples that I stan, and they are so precious and they are so cute that they must be protected at all damn times. Monty and Percy from Gentleman's Guide, Tiff and Leon from The Flat Share, and because it's one of my most recent reads, one of my most recent 5 stars, Alex and Henry from Red, White and Royal Blue. They are precious, they are adorable, we must give up everything to protect them with all our hearts and all our souls, because they're so wonderful and so cute and so precious, and I love them all so dearly. Hello, this is Future Editing Olivia. If you notice any differences in how I look in the next part of this video, that is because when I filmed the first part, the battery died. And for one reason or another, I couldn't get to film the rest of it until the following day. Sorry about that, back to regular scheduled programming. Moving forward on to question 10, a book that made you cry. There are so many books that have made me cry, both happy and sad tears so far this year. Red, White and Royal Blue made me cry both, but I'll come back to that book later. Probably the best one for this story, book that made me cry, Like a Love Story by Abdi Nazemian. It's just such a beautiful book. It's set America in the midst of the AIDS crisis. You've got kind of the ongoing love story between an Iranian boy who knows nothing about this AIDS crisis and what's going on other than what's been put through the media, a gay guy who is very much an activist on the front line and is trying to fight all the stereotypes, and their mutual best friend, who ends up as their mutual best friend. And it's just the way Abdi Nazemian has written it is just really beautiful, and it's really tender and it's really soft, and actually makes you, as much as our world at the moment is rather chaotic, makes you grateful for some of the things that we have that they didn't have back then. I highly recommend it, and also the cover design on it is beautiful. Moving forward to question 11, a book that made you happy. Red, White and Royal Blue, we're sensing a theme here. But no, I read one of the autobiographies I've written this year, autobiography, memoir, whatever you want to call it. If you've seen the Netflix show Queer Eye, which we completely stand Queer Eye on this channel, I absolutely love Queer Eye on this channel. 1/5 of the Fab Five, Tan France, who is actually British, yes he is, wrote his autobiography this year called Naturally Tan. I was very lucky in June. He did kind of some UK appearances as part of promotion for this book, and I got to go to his talk in my hometown, got to meet him, and he was amazing. He was so sweet. I was like, oh my god, it's Tan from Queer Eye. And he was like, don't get all, I'm not a superstar, it's just me. And I said, yes, that's the point, it's too exciting. But his memoir, yeah, called Naturally Tan, audiobook is quite a look as well, so I'd highly recommend that. If you like Anthony, also from the Fab Five on Queer Eye, he makes an appearance on the audiobook. I won't say why, but it's quite funny. Right, we have got 2 more questions to go. Question 12, most beautiful book you have bought or received this year. Ooh, I've had some pretty ones. The Harry Potter illustrated editions are absolutely stunning. My god, look them up. But probably I was very blessed. A dear friend of mine from the United States sent me an arc of The Starless Sea by Erin Morgenstern, and if you've seen that, if Google it, it's the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. I am a bit late to the game. I've only recently just read The Night Circus and loved it. I just thought it was so lyrical and so beautiful, so I'm dying to get started on The Starless Sea. But yeah, that was a stunning book. And actually I think that leads beautifully into the last question. What books do you need to read by the end of the year? All my books. I need to read all the books ever. Oh god, you can make me name Starless Sea, Ninth House, Loki Where Mischief Lies. Did I make a list? Oh god. Stephen Chbosky, who originally did Perks of Being a Wallflower, coming out with the new one, Imaginary Friend. Girls of Storm and Shadow, which is the follow-up to Girls of Paper and Fire. All the books! I just need to read everything! I actually sat down and started to sort out my Goodreads shelves last night, and it was like there was 50 plus books that I want to read before the end of the year, and that's not including the hundreds of books I have in my house, which was like, oh damn. Yeah, I need to read all the books. And on that note, that is actually bringing us to the end of the mid-year book freakout tag. Have you read any of the books that I've mentioned this year? Are you excited for any of the books? Oh, another one I just thought of. Children of Virtue and Vengeance by Tomi Adeyemi, follow up to Children of Blood and Bone. December, I am ready. Drop me some comments down below. Tell me what you think. Is there any recommendations? What should I prioritise if I have in my cupboard? Tell me everything down below. Drop me some comments. Like and dislike the videos. I don't mind. Share your thoughts. I want to hear from the wonderful BookTube community. That is it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully, I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.